Today we need to talk about shares of Apple. Everyone constantly just wants me to talk about Apple as if it's the only stock out there. It's not. Specifically, what I want to talk about today is whether you should trade shares of Apple. And in fact, that brings up a bigger point first and foremost, and that is, should you trade at all? In fact, there's a video here you can click on where I discussed whether you should be trading at all. The thing is that different stocks require different time frames of attention, and those time frames, in other words, those characters of those stocks, change over time. So just because stock A right now looks good on a multi-week time frame doesn't mean it's always going to remain that. Maybe at some point it becomes very dormant and it ends up having to be something that you kind of day trade. And now I can't remember what I was going to talk about next. In essence, Apple has become a very crowded stock that essentially has a lot of movement around a few key events, essentially product announcements or earnings, and sometimes there's something in between. But for the most part, the stock, as of right now at least, has basically stopped trending. And it's making it quite choppy, more or less like the broader stock market. So from that perspective, the answer to the question, should you trade the stock, is depending on whether you are comfortable with a multi-day, more likely a multi-week time frame. If you are a day trader, there may be some trades to do, but quite frankly, I think there are better movers out there. If you're a long-term investor, right now, it's kind of dead money. So the reality is that when it comes to Apple, as it is the same for every stock really, we have to respect the trend. And the trend for the most part right now is a stock that's going sideways. So let's go to the charts and let me kind of show you what I'm talking about in terms of Apple. So when we talk about shares of Apple, and allow me to clarify before I get some nasty emails, when I talk about the stock going nowhere or going sideways, I'm looking at this through a multi-year lens. In other words, Apple stock, ever since about May 2015, so about a year ago, so for the past 12 months, the stock has certainly trended lower, but it hasn't gone anywhere over the sort of 2014, 2015, 2016 lens. So going back to about September 2014, this stock hasn't gone anywhere. So it's not a trending bullish stock in that sense. That's what I mean by the stock basically going sideways. So if you look at this through a very simple support line, you can see that the stock is right now again, or did a few weeks ago come into basically support. And it's not breaking down yet. It's just kind of holding on to this. So if we look at this a little bit more close up, and you can see here that the swings in this stock have very much been at multi-week, sometimes multi-day, but really multi-week and sometimes multi-month. So it doesn't take a genius to see this, but you can see some of these trends. Once we have bullish reversals, they were multi-week, again multi-week, multi-month, multi-week, multi-month, and then the same thing again to the downside. So that is the trend, and I don't think that's going to change right now. So if you're day trading the stock, trust me, there's easier stocks than this out there. But if you're looking for nice swing trades, I very much think that Apple is something that you should look at. But again, keep in mind that for the most part, we're talking about multi-week, maybe multi-month swings, and not necessarily a stock that you need to buy today and sell again in 5 minutes or even tomorrow for that matter. So that's where the trend is right now. We have fairly well-defined swings in Apple. In fact, if you look at Apple on a weekly chart, in other words, with weekly time frames, let me clean this up a little bit and give you a plain white chart. You can see we actually have nice bullish and bearish reversal take place at the upper and lower ends of the range. You can see a lot of what we refer to as sort of bearish reversal candles, such as we had up here, then again here in November of last year, and then certainly here. So we have a lot of clear, well-defined bearish candles with bearish reversal confirmed, and the same thing at the bottom. We have bullish reversals with confirmed rallies. It's all there. So to summarize, if you're interested in trading Apple stock, I think yes, the answer is yes. But again, keep in mind right now, the stock is very much interesting on a multi-week to multi-month time frame, and not so much on a day-over-day time frame, or even so much on a longer-term investment perspective, at least just yet. If you're not following me on Instagram yet, I think you should. Instagram.com/studytrader.